people that didn't make a move, now these are the same people that are offended?
Or offended. Or honestly, the people who are offended are like message boards people. They never played the sport, but they got so much to say about the sport or the people who play it, right? Mm-hmm. So like they didn't vote because they said over 40-something% didn't vote.
46.2 or something like that.
Of the electorate didn't vote.
It was like a random number that voted for like Harambe or some stuff too, like a write-in vote, like that defiant vote.
Right, just dumb stuff. Yeah,
because they thought somebody else was going to take care of it for them. They thought somebody else was going to get, it wasn't their problem. Like they could just do whatever they wanted to do. But now that it blew up in their face, they are the ones that got the most to say.
So in retrospect, do we think something better can come out of this since it's happened?
Absolutely.
Versus just letting Hillary come. That's what I'm trying to say.
Because then people are saying
the thing is
go ahead.
To what Lance is saying, and Mike, you could probably speak to this a little bit more from your background, but there's a difference between sympathy and empathy.
Yeah. Empathy is feeling your shoes.
They are sympathetic.
They feel sorry for
to racists, but they're not empathetic. They feel sorry for it, but they can't feel it. And so So in the end, like you said, Lance, it comes back to you can't really do any. You don't really feel a need to do anything about it. You're sympathetic to it. You're like, oh man, that's bad. I feel bad for them.
Right. But I have to put it not to go all the way back to where I keep pushing, because I keep feeling like for any white person who really doesn't understand it, look at that. There's one portion of the Green Mile, and I keep going back to it. When the doggone cop put his hand on John Coffey's hand, and he felt and experienced everything that he felt, that John Coffey experienced as a black man, that Green Mile, that John Coffey moment, that's the only way. I've always said this for years now. I've always felt like that is the only way white people will ever fully understand what it is to be black. So pretty much saying being able to walk a mile in my shoes.
If you want to feel like white if you want to feel like white people, if you want to feel like how white people feel, like that fake, the sympathy, but they try to cloak it as empathy. As a black man, how do you guys feel when you see those kids on those hungry commercials in Africa with those flowers on their face? You feel sorry for them, but you're full.
Yeah.
Like you ain't really empathetic like that.
I ain't donated my 15 cents a day.
Those are your own damn people, and we can look at them. That's like you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a very good.
So that's how you can feel how they feel. You like, oh man, I'm so sorry for that. Now who win in this Louisville game again? Like you just like boom. So I got
a question for y'all, and Rope, I want you to take this one. Do you think that? First of all, do you think there's different levels of racism, and do you think both black and white people are racist? Is it the same type of racism?
I think there is a different type of racism.
Do you think one's justified? Do you think black people being racist is justified?
Can black people be racist?
Black people being racist?
Because it's hard for black people to be racist.
Hold on. Yeah, I agree with you, Mike. I agree with you, Creed. But go ahead, Ro.
Yeah, no, I agree with Mike saying. I mean, like, racism is different in the South than I think it is in the North, or different in the West or the Midwest. Like, it's kind of depends where you live at, where you grew up at, and stuff like that. I mean, racism for me, man, it's been like since I was in like elementary school. You know what I mean? Being called nigga, N-word, and stuff like that. So having to grow up with that and seeing it firsthand, I have a different experience than somebody in, let's say, New Jersey, who never really had to deal with that type of stuff. You know what I mean? So it just kind of depends, man. Just growing up in the South, man, like we deal with racism. All of us know we've dealt with it our whole lives. We look at it differently. So,
but it's kind of weird though, because I think like we know it's the weirdest thing. Because in the South, we know that we have racist people, but we still get along. In the North, it might be worse because they really truly don't fool with them. Like we will still like. We'll go to the mailbox and we'll notice a neck that probably don't really like us. They have a Confederate flag on their truck and they wave to us.
Yep.
It's just the strangest thing.
Or you see them at Walmart and y'all just talking in the line, and then they be like, them niggers, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And you like, well, you just expect it from them.
Yep. But I guess my thing is.
Or you sitting there?
Go ahead.
I was about to say, or you like, you talking, you just randomly at Jersey Mike's or something, and you in line with somebody, you talking about Gamecock football to them or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? You like you said, you just kind of tolerate them for the most part. And you're like, they're here. I know they're around me, so I can't just go around
not talking or like, you know, with blinders on because, you know, that's just not how you are because you're a social person,
and
you know?
This is the reason why I asked because I had this conversation with one of my homegirls, and she's white. And she was like, well, you know that both black people can be racist too. And I was like, I will give you that. I do think black people can be racist. But here's the fundamental difference. There's two of them. For one, we don't oppress anybody. There's nothing we can do to oppress you. Our racism doesn't keep you from getting anything. A job, a mortgage, a loan, none of that. Into a school, none of that. Mm-hmm. Extra long jail sentence. We can't control any of that. And then the second part and the most important thing to me is that I know some black folks that are racist and don't like white folks, and they're typically older, and they really have a reason. There's segregation, Jim Crow, they went through all of that.
Reason.
But I don't know not one black person who thinks they're better than a white person because they're black. And that is the difference.
Ooh.
And that's the difference.
And what was her response?
She couldn't say anything because white folks truly think they're superior to us. Like their race is. Like I don't know not one black person who thinks I'm better than you because I'm black and you're white. Like I know some black people. I can't stand a white person and I hate them, but not because I'm black.
Because as soon as you get into a position to where you could even consider that mentality, they will knock you back down a few pegs to let you know, hey, this is where it is still. Like in the case of LeBron, like the LeBron and the Phil Jackson stuff.
Exactly.
I mean, it's a similar thought process of the fact that even when you get to a point where you feel like you have finally transcended that, and like, oh, I'm gotten to a point where now they see me in a different light. Like I've gained this sort of other status, this other perspective. And then it's like, oh, hold on. Oh, you think you got a seat at the table? No. Let me let you know that you still don't have a seat at the table. You getting money, but I'm allowing you to get money.
Right.
I'm paying you. You know, it's that whole mentality. So even when you feel like you've gotten to a point where you could potentially even have that type of attitude, they're not going to let you have that.
But to answer Lance's question,
they're going to bring you back.
There are levels to racism, and we were discussing that during the meeting in our chat. You know, most white people think it's either you're a white supremacist or you're not racist, and there's nothing in between. When in all actuality, just like a standard deviation curve, that big hump where the majority of the people lie is where the majority of the white people lie. You know what I'm saying? Like you have some form of racism. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's lying dormant and it comes through your actions, whether it's only private conversations and not outward. But it's so many different things that they're not willing to address. As long as they're not the KKK or a skinhead, they're like, oh, it's not me.
You know, the easiest way to determine whether or not they are is literally and it's fun. Ask them if and it's simple. Has Donald Trump ever done or said anything that's racist?
And if they say no, then you're racist.
And you know how many times I've heard no?
And then even when you bring stuff up, they're like,
or give me an example of something he said is racist. I was like, the reason why you don't think it's racist is because you agree with him.
Yeah. No, that's right. Very accurate.
I mean,
I had a similar conversation just like that. There were a couple of people talking about they voted for Trump, and they were kind of giving their whole reasons why with the economy. I think he can fix the economy, whatever, blah blah blah.
But no plan.
And I pretty much said, okay, but he's a racist. And they were like, well, what does he say racist? And I was like, I can't even have this discussion with you.
That's it. It's a right.
Seriously, I had to walk away from it because I'm like, I'm not wasting the time to sit here and try to prove to you. It's not on me to prove to you why he is. You obviously don't interpret the things that he says the way I interpret them. So there really isn't a reason for me to sit here and have this discussion with you.
You know, it'd be
it's not going to go anywhere.
You know, it'd be a good social experiment.
It's just going to make me get mad.
It'd be a good social experiment if we lifted up a fake candidate. I'm talking about the firing squad over social media as a black man and voice all of Donald Trump's beliefs, but towards whites.
Wow.
Like use his own words, but just replace them with Caucasians and lift it up like a just fake candidate just to see what people thought.
Banned from Facebook.
But you see what I'm saying though? Yeah. Like they would never vote for a brother talking about, white people like that. with that track record, man.
Or imagine if Barack said, I want to stay in my house. I don't want to live in the White House. I want to stay in my house.
And they're going to be like, why? Because it's white?
Yeah, and I want to get all my cousins and my kids and my...
and security advisors or something?
Yeah, like top level clearance. Come on, they would have cut a fool, man. Anything. This dude. It's impossible for Donald Trump.
Let me ask y'all this. Let me ask y'all this real quick. Do y'all feel that any white person that voted for Trump, do you just feel that that person is a racist? Or do you feel like, hey, maybe Hillary wasn't a good candidate, it just was anti-Hillary? Because there was a lot of that narrative out there as well,
that
too.
That is a great question.
And somebody Gary hit.
So racism is more than emails. And
I think I've been wrestling with that. And here's my thing. I think by and large, yes, but I can also see how if I'm this poor person who community or town has been decimated because the manufacturing plant, the only real job in town, shut down, and when it shut down, the town shut down. And this man is telling me he's going to bring that back. I can see how they can buy into that without being racist. So
I can.
Right.
So that's.
And I mean, the answer I always give is just bottom line. Every racist is a Trump supporter, but every Trump supporter is not a racist. And exactly for the reason that Lance just said, a lot of them, they were, their jobs left.
He's selling the Kool-Aid, man. They drink the Kool-Aid.
No, but he's going to get them back, though.
He made the statement about coal miners, about putting the coal industry out of business. So, I mean, that stung a lot of people. And she never went back and talked about really fully how she was going to bring jobs back there. Trump sold a whole bunch of lies to him, but at least, the thing is, they feel like at least he told them something.
How do you think she's going to bring jobs back there?
I think that, Ro, to answer your question, I think that the majority of the I don't like Hillary people did not vote. Yeah. I don't think that they voted for Trump because they did not like Hillary.
And I think that bears.
They're probably. I think there's a small percentage that probably did, but I think majority of the people who were like, I think Hillary is disgusting, deplorable, she's a liar or whatever. I think they just didn't vote.
They was on that Harambe ticket.
They voted for
Harambe. They was on that Harambe ticket.
Oh my God! A couple of them did vote for Harambe.
Man, I put them in the same boat. They despicable.
The large number. I think the large number of the people who didn't vote and that aren't. I think that the media and the way they want to kind of spin it is that was minorities. Like we talked about before, minorities cannot win or lose an election
ever in life. At anything.
Majority of those
a student body election,
right?
It's like we can't win unless it's at a HBCU. That's the only time that black folks can affect the election. That's it.
Yeah, because even when we split the vote on white campuses, it's because the white people split it.
Right.
Not because we just
Majority of those people that didn't vote were white. Were white moderate people in the middle. There were a lot of those people who did not vote were not black, and they're trying to make it like, oh, the minorities didn't come out. Get the fuck out of here. We cannot influence we cannot win. Like I posted the one day where I kind of got fed up and actually posted some stuff. Do you really think that it was black people who did not come out in Wisconsin, Michigan, Scranton, Pennsylvania? You think that black people really flipped those states? Get the fuck out of here. That is like that was the one narrative that really, really pissed me off. Is when they kept pushing that. Well, but the minorities didn't come out. Oh, well, they'll protest, but they won't vote. Blah blah blah. I'm like, fuck that. 92% of minorities voted for Hillary. 92% of black people voted for Hillary. 53% of white women voted for Donald Trump. 50+% of white men voted for Donald Trump.
And it's 50.
So don't blame the fact that he got voted in on black people not voting for Hillary. No, you fucking voted for Donald Trump.
And he had so many opportunities.
You voted him in.
He literally, think about it. He pissed off all of the key groups. So
except the LGBT,
the blacks,
because they got the
Jews, women. Yep. There's more women in America than anything.
Yeah,
and he pissed off. I mean, that was from the get go. You would figure like, how can a woman not even like? Because for real, I was still until he's talking about all blacks live in the ghetto and can't walk down the street and get shot. I was like, he ain't really came for us yet. But but I feel offended that he's talking shit to our brown brothers and sisters. So I was offended for them. So I was like, definitely. I can't do it.
Yeah,
but he still ain't really came for us yet.
Yeah,
until he said that. But women from day one, he was coming for Latinos, Hispanics, he was coming for, and then he finally like start talking at us instead of to us.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, he did, but the thing is, he did come